Imagine lying flat on the cold dirt of a prehistoric jungle, completely swallowed by the suffocating darkness. The last embers of your tiny fire have just died out. As the freezing wind bites your skin, the shadows around you instantly come alive. You hear the deep, hungry growls of apex predators closing in, circling your fragile human body. Biologically speaking, the moment you close your eyes and drift into unconsciousness, you should become the easiest meal on the planet. Yet miraculously, you wake up completely untouched the very next morning. In the brutal environment of our early lineage, darkness was an absolute death sentence. When the sun vanished, massive apex predators completely dominated the unforgiving landscape. Imagine your ancient ancestors lying entirely unconscious on the cold forest floor. Their fragile skeletal muscles were perfectly paralyzed. Their biological warning system was entirely shut down. They were essentially a soft, completely defenseless target surrounded by the ultimate hunting machines of the wild. Evolutionary sleep ecology reveals a truly terrifying reality about our evolutionary past. The immense predatory pressure during the deep night should have easily wiped us out. Every single time early humans drifted into an unmoving sleep, they were gambling their existence against a chaotic chemical cocktail of aggressive carnivores hunting in the pitch black. A sleeping primate is biologically the most effortless meal nature could ever offer. Yet humanity did not go extinct. We somehow survived the absolute most dangerous nightly conditions imaginable. Stepping out of that terrifying primitive darkness and directly into the highly illuminated laboratories of modern ecological science, we are forced to confront a deeply unsettling biological mystery. How exactly did our extremely vulnerable ancestors manage to safely close their eyes every single night without being permanently erased from the brutal ancient food chain? We often picture our ancient ancestors sleeping exactly like we do today. We assume that when the sun finally disappeared behind the horizon, the entire tribe simply lay down in the dirt, closed their eyes simultaneously, and hoped for the best. It seems logical. But biologically speaking, a perfectly synchronized sleep schedule is a collective suicide pact. If an entire camp falls completely unconscious at the exact same moment, they become nothing more than a silent, motionless buffet for the jungle. This is where a profound behavioral anomaly comes into play. When researchers closely observed the Hadza people, one of the last true hunter-gatherer societies on Earth, they uncovered a hidden evolutionary mechanism. It is called the Sentinel Hypothesis. By analyzing their sleep patterns in the deep wilderness, scientists discovered that human beings are not biologically designed to sleep at the same time. Instead, we are genetically hardwired with severe chronotype variation. Some individuals naturally collapse early in the evening, while others are physically incapable of resting until the darkest hours of the morning. To a modern human, this just feels like annoying jet lag or being a night owl. But in the brutal economy of the ancient forest, this staggered sleep cycle is a highly sophisticated, life-saving defense network. The data reveals a staggering reality. Because of this natural biological desynchronization, for exactly 99.8% of the entire night, there is always at least one human being fully awake, completely alert, and scanning the darkness. The tribe is never actually asleep. Even when the campfire dies, the collective human organism remains hypervigilant. This unseen rotation of conscious sentinels ensures that a prowling predator never encounters a totally defenseless camp. Instead, it triggers an immediate psychological retreat back into the absolute darkest depths of the terrifying wild shadows. But how exactly does this ancient defense grid operate inside your modern head? To understand this, we have to stop looking at human sleep as a simple biological rest period and start viewing it as a highly complex piece of evolutionary software. Under the crushing predatory pressure of the prehistoric world, evolutionary sleep ecology forced our brains to develop a literal biological operating system designed for staggered unconsciousness. Today, society loves to categorize people based on their sleep habits. If you physically cannot fall asleep until 2 or 3 in the morning, you are labeled a night owl. If you naturally wake up before the sun even rises, you are an early bird. You might even think your strange sleep schedule is just a frustrating personal flaw or a malfunction in your routine. But modern cognitive ecology reveals a much darker, much more magnificent reality. Your specific sleep habit is not a system error. It is a pre-programmed biological feature. Your brain is running an ancient hardwired line of survival code known as chronotype variation. When you lie awake, staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning, completely unable to shut your brain off, you are not experiencing insomnia. You are executing a highly specific evolutionary command. Your internal software is actively keeping you conscious because In the deep evolutionary memory of our species, your designated shift to guard the tribe has just begun. By forcing different individuals to experience peak alertness at completely different stages of the night, this chronotype variation effectively created an unbreakable biological shield against the chaotic chemical cocktail of the wild. You are quite literally carrying the exact survival hardware that kept our vulnerable ancestors from being violently erased from the terrifying prehistoric food chain while they slept in the pitch-black ancient dirt. When we look back at the terrifying reality of our evolutionary past, human sleep is no longer just a period of biological rest. It is an absolute masterpiece of survival engineering. The night was supposed to be our ultimate death sentence. We were soft, slow, and completely blind in the dark, surrounded by the most lethal apex predators the planet had ever produced. Yet, we did not just survive the darkness, we completely conquered it. By staggering our states of unconsciousness, our species transformed a massive biological vulnerability into an unbreakable psychological fortress. We hacked our own evolutionary software to ensure that the collective eyes of the tribe never truly closed. The predators waiting in the shadows were entirely outsmarted by a creature that learned how to remain hypervigilant even while dreaming. So, the next time you find yourself staring wide awake at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, completely unable to shut your racing brain down, do not feel frustrated. You are not physically broken. It is not insomnia. It is simply the deep, ancient, primitive operating system inside you, waking up to take its rightful shift to guard the entire tribe against the terrifying forces of nature.